Mitchell such a prolific scorer during her brilliant career at Ohio State. Take a look at the starting lineups. Julie Alemont is the Belgian point guard who has brought some different things for them. Tiara McCowan will be starting. And for Las Vegas, Lindsay Allen, the point guard for this team that is without Liz Cambage and Kelsey Plum for this season. Plum injured, Cambage got the medical exemption, and we are underway with Vegas in red. Lindsay Allen gets it over to another Notre Damer. Allen over to McBride for the first bucket.
A good sign for Vegas because McBride struggled from long range in their last game. They didn't need her because A'ja Wilson hung 31 on New York.
That was a terrific come from behind win. Kelsey Mitchell wastes no time, but A'ja Wilson blocked her, but Tiara McCowan was able to get inside. McCowan also played very well against Washington the other day.
Fun to watch McCowan go up against Carolyn Swords. Swords is one of the centers in this league that can meet her size for size, pound for pound.
McBride trying to get it back to A'ja Wilson, and she missed it, but McCowan didn't even have to leave her feet to get that rebound. Going out of bounds to Las Vegas, first of 2 times they will play this season. Angel McCautry, injury-filled season last year. Fresh start in Vegas. Lindsay Allen tried to get it through McCowan. That didn't quite work out. And now Tiffany Mitchell brings the ball up. Lost her dad late last week. So she's dealing with a lot of stuff off the court. McCowan made that look easy, just took it right over Swords.
And Bill Lambier has got to be disappointed after the first couple possessions of this game of McCowan's effectiveness on the interior.
Rebounding is so important as Candace Dupree commits the foul. And one thing that Marianne Stanley, when we spoke to her earlier today, emphasized was they had to keep A'ja Wilson off the line. She's going to get her points anyway, but 11 of those 31 points she got against New York the other day came from the line.
Well, she is playing on balance like we've never seen her before. So you can tell that in the offseason there's been some work on her strength because she's taking contact and able to still finish shots. As you mentioned, Pam, it's getting to the free throw line 8 times a night. That's a lot of points from the charity stripe.
Yeah, she's already got her first 2 from there. Bill Lambier, the head coach for Vegas, talked about how Wilson has really worked, did a lot of individual sessions in the off season, and has embraced a leadership role, which is something that she was a little slow in developing. Alemont for 3. What a pickup she has been for this Indiana team.
And if you get too sucked into the interior defensively, Alemont will make you pay. She's shooting it at a high percentage, over 50% from 3.
How many times have we seen Angel McCautry do something like that in her career, averaging almost 15 points per game this year?
What move? I mean, Tiffany Mitchell loses the defense purely with her handle and her explosiveness.
Good start, 9-6, and now McCautry's turn to draw fouls. Las Vegas as a team is getting to the line over 24 times a game, 3 more on average than last year when they led the league in that category.
And that's something that Angel McCautry has always been really good at throughout her career, is getting to the free throw line. And then you add A'ja Wilson's ability to that, and you understand how those free throws can mount.
She's 91% from the free throw line, top 10 in the league. There's Bill. Told us today that actually yesterday in a call, that his dog has been to the groomer 2 or 3 times in Florida in the bubble, but Bill obviously has not gone to the groomer. He's going with the headband instead.
Hopefully soon, Bill, hopefully soon.
Well, guys, I have an update. Bill has an appointment on August 16th if he takes it. That is the day that the hairstylist will officially enter the WNBA bubble. I talked to Taj McWilliams-Franklin today. She was in there setting up the salon, and they are open and available for appointments August 16th. It's going to have to fight off a few of the players, but I think that they are all willing to let him get that cleanup.
So we have to wait 5 more days. The 16th is Sunday, folks, and that's when it'll be interesting to see.
But we've waited so long. First, shout out to Taj McWilliams-Franklin, one of my favorites. Another easy interior basket for Vegas, but now the question is, what is Bill going to do with the hair? He waited so long,
Yeah.
He's got to do something special with this cut.
Yeah, you talked about the points in the paint. For both teams accumulating, Dupree, little fadeaway won't work. Swords comes up with the rebound. Swords in her 9th year out of Boston College. McBride has not been shooting the ball as well as she usually does, but they get the offensive rebound. Wow, that pass somehow got all the way through to Swords, and she redeemed herself after missing the first one.
Yeah, McCowan got stuck on Asia Wilson, and just a cut into the lane. Defense fell asleep.
Las Vegas winners of 4 straight games. Mitchell just a little bit too strong. Indy doing a good job getting back. They want to stop the transition of Vegas.
Good recovery defensively by Indiana to contest that shot.
Mitchell puts it in another gear and just blew by everybody.
See, everyone doesn't have that kind of energy up and down the floor. Kelsey Mitchell finds that, especially in offensive transition.
Ties the game back up at 13, and a whistle on the McBride jump shot.
McBride being very aggressive and looking for her shot early. Defender went under that screen.
Good matchups. D-Rob's in and Allen.
Kayla McBride, a terrific free throw shooter.
Danielle Robinson will check in for the Aces. Number 8, Kennedy Burke, and number 11, Natalie Achanwa.
So now Natalie Achanwa is coming in. As Holly said in her open, Achanwa has missed the last 4 games with the right hamstring. And De'Erica Hamby, who was the 6th player of the year last year for Vegas, is standing next to Achanwa. We'll see how Natalie does coming back from the hamstring injury.
Well, Kennedy Burke was having to sub in at the 4 spot. And this is a good game to have all your power forwards lined up and all the sides that you can, as Holly spoke to, against a Vegas team that can put a really big lineup in the game.
Your handoff.
Dupree working against Asia Wilson. Couldn't get it to go. Hamby gets the rebound. Danielle Robinson in the game for Vegas. And then, boy, McCautry, how old is she? She's moving like she's a puppy out there. 7 points already for Angel. Come on, good ball fake. Dupree left wide open. Makes them pay.
Boy, what a job by Alabon. Not giving up her dribble despite McCautry jumping out at her. She was cool, calm, and collect.
Yeah, Alamon is a rookie in this league, but has a lot of experience internationally with Belgium. D-Rob with the floater hit.
When you look at the 3-point guards for Vegas, all 3 of them aren't necessarily strong offensively. Lindsay Allen, Danielle Robinson, Jackie Young. But Jackie Young and Robinson, Allen have all been better, more dependable on that end of the floor, which helps Vegas. But Vegas right now needs a little help getting in front of Kelsey Mitchell.
Yeah, both teams shooting well over 50%, and Hamby's going to go to the line after she was hacked by Natalie Achanwa. Off to a great start, especially Angel.
Well, when you see this move right here on the wing, Angel McCautry is one of the only players you see catch it and move to the basket all at once. She is explosive.
ESPN's coverage of the WNBA is brought to you by AT&T 5G and Taco Bell. Order ahead and pick up your favorites at our contactless drive-thru.
Say her name. 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 Say her name.
This week's honoree is Michelle, and she is someone that had a mental health issue, and instead of having her mental health professional and her family come in and help her, it's like 7 police officers came and did the complete opposite of what needed to be done, which then led to her death, which is awful to hear about. But at the same time, I think it really shows how we really need to train these police officers into what they do and what they need to do, because it's just so heartbreaking to hear another black woman go down like this, and there's no justice being served. But, you know, I wrote my Players Tribune about Dear Black Girls, and I think that kind of course, does not translate over to just the death, but just it goes to show how black women really get swept underneath the rug, because we just seem like we're just just nothing. And it's very heartbreaking, because I am a black woman before I'm anything, and I'm going to use my voice, and I'm never going to stop using it until justice is served for people that look like me, and hopefully be a testimony for the up-and-coming generation of the girls that look like me, and know that, you know, we have something that's on our back that's always there, but at the end of the day, we can still be who we are and fight for what's right. And that's what we're doing this week, is just showing and letting our voices be heard, because this cannot happen again. This cannot continue to happen.
What an incredibly and powerful voice does Asia Wilson have, and uses it. And she spoke to her Players Tribune piece. I actually just had a chance to read it coming into this game. I had not. Dear Black Girls, but if you have a chance to just check it out, she talks about some childhood experiences that have really shaped her, and tries to give advice to young black girls coming up of some of the challenges they may face. But Asia is just showing great leadership in everything the WNBA does, both on and off the court.
And a very thoughtful essay. You should definitely check it out. And meanwhile, boy, both teams continuing to shoot the ball well. Jackie Young coming in, hitting a shot. Candace Dupree hit a one-hander over Asia.
Natalie Achamwa getting in on the action. Boy, they have missed her on the floor. We heard Holly Rowe talking about that in our open. She is part of the experience that they have been missing. Yes, they've been riding Candace Dupree, but they've got a lot of youth in different positions on this team as Danielle Robinson gets to the rack. But Natalie Achamwa and Erica Wheeler, who is still not with the team, she's in medical protocol, will be big additions to this team.
Both teams shooting lights out. Vegas shooting over 70%. Indiana over 60%. Victoria Vivians is in. She's got that big old brace on her right knee. She had it surgically repaired last year, but tweaked it and now has the brace on it. Hamby working on Dupree.
Beautiful footwork by Hamby off of the bench.
She's really good coming off the bench. Again, the 6th Woman of the Year last year, putting up better numbers this season. Dupree is on fire.
Cool, calm, and collect. Something we talk about when you watch Candace Dupree play, when you watch Emma Meeseman play, players that can't be sped up. I would throw Elena Deladon in that as well. It doesn't matter how frantic you play. They take their time on offense and are very efficient players because of it.
Asia crashes to the floor. Ball stays, however, with Las Vegas. Dupree already with 8 points. We talked about McCautry getting off to a great start. Her 7 points for Vegas, the most she has had in the first quarter all season.
Dupree is just so methodical. And something she has talked about this season is how much fun she is having with this team. She's enjoying playing basketball again.
Hamby has it rim out. McCowan gets it over to Alamong. As we hit a minute to go in what has been a very entertaining quarter.
Not a lot of defense happening so far, Pam.
So it's not just great shooting, it's having an opportunity. Yeah.
I mean, you got to hit open shots.
And they've done that. So that foul called on Carolyn Swords. So Victoria Vivians, we talked about her knee as she is working her way back into shape. Bill Lambier, 3 championships with the late, great Detroit Shock, his 3rd year with Vegas since they moved over from San Antonio.
Bill looks like he could definitely take off that Vegas polo and be a wrestler. He looks like WWF material, straight up.
I think he would like that. I think he would consider that a big-time compliment.
Sounds like Bill. Boy, great job by De'Erica Hamby. The pressure of Candace Dupree, she escapes it with the backdoor cut.
Asia Wilson off the floor for Vegas, and we have a whistle on the way to the drive. Sugar Rogers, her 8th year out of Georgetown.
Doesn't really matter who you are. Tiffany Mitchell is going to be a tough guard just because of how quick she is. I mean, we'll use the word quick, explosive for a number of these players on the court, but I don't think anyone is as quick or fast in making their crossover moves and off of the dribble as Mitchell.
Yeah, we actually saw as Lauren Cox, the rookie from Baylor, checks in that she had a move the other day against Washington that literally put Ariel Atkins on her backside.
And that's Tiffany Mitchell, breaking ankles.
Indiana down by 2. Robinson running the point as they backing up Allen, who is the starter. Jackie Young coming off the bench this year, and another whistle. And if that's on Vivian's, and it is indeed.
And see, that's where Jackie Young has really grown in her offensive game. Is there was a Dearica Hamby on the wing wide open, and yes, maybe Jackie should have gotten that to her, but making the decision to try to get to the rim, and that's where she's had success these last couple of games. Looking at her numbers, 30 points over her last 2 games, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. She has found something really special on offense for Bill Lambier's team, and it's been refreshing to see.
Yeah, she wasn't too thrilled about coming off the bench after starting last year, but Bill Lambier says she's really settling into it and gives them, in his opinion, a much deeper bench this year with Jackie coming off the bench along with Hamby, who was the 6th player of the year. McCowan, that's too easy. When she gets the ball in that position, it's over.
And she's done a nice job against Swords, a bigger defender, of getting position and being active on the glass in this first quarter.
And Las Vegas up 33-31. Both teams shooting the ball very well. And Angel McCautry off to a great start.
Couple of vets in the WNBA, Angel McCautry and Candace Dupree. So smooth.
Yes, is Kayla McBride. And Kayla, there are such big players in the paint. This seems like there's no room inside. How do you guys overcome that tonight?
I think, being aggressive, making them have to defend us inside, outside. We have post players and guards who can attack, so we want to be able to be versatile on offense, and I think we've done a good job of that so far.
You guys have so many guards right now. The depth is really beautiful. How are you guys lifting each other up and kind of working together?
Well, it's fun. I think tonight we have a good balance right now. It's just fun when everybody's being aggressive. We're sharing the ball. We scored 33 points in the first quarter, and that's the type of pace that we want to play at, and it's a lot of fun out there right now.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Anna.
Well, both teams really shot well in the first quarter. 67% for Indiana now. 64% for Vegas.
Yeah, despite all that size, clearly no one is afraid to take it into the paint.
Indiana has hit now 8 straight shots from the outside. Make it 9. Lauren Cox from distance.
Yeah, it's been interesting watching Lauren Cox kind of try to get comfy. Not quite in shape in terms of conditioning. McCautry hits another shot. Looks like she wants a foul. But Cox is trying to get in shape, and this will be a tough game for her defensively just because of how mobile Vegas's power forwards are.
Cox trying to get it into McCowan,
who's been very effective. Didn't catch it in a good spot. That's a good job getting the ball back out.
Vivian's with the miss, and now Jackie Young takes it, trying to push the ball, but runs into some yellow jerseys. Hamby misses. McCowan tips it over to Cox.
And I thought I heard Marianne Stanley saying, timeout, timeout, until Kelsey Mitchell knocks down that shot.
Yeah, it's a very good way not to hear that timeout. Kelsey Mitchell with the bucket.
Kelsey Mitchell has a second year that is just tough to compete with, and she gets into that shot so quickly. Just the stop and pop, left-handed, and she's playing with a ton of confidence in that jumper right now, and that spells trouble for whoever the Fever's playing.
Now Vivian's, we hope she's okay. We mentioned that she tweaked that surgically repaired knee, has a big brace on it, and I think that's why Coach Stanley wanted to take the timeout to make sure that Victoria was okay. Brilliant career at Mississippi State. trying to come back after tweaking that knee.
Yeah, it's tough adjusting to playing in a brace, too, again.
Man, that's a big old brace. It's not just like a wrap or anything.
A couple of times, Vegas has tried to take Cox to the rim, but can't get a finish.
And then a foul on the other end as Burke took it very aggressively to the basket. Kennedy Burke, terrific story, second year out of UCLA, a player that head coach Marianne Stanley is very pleased to have on her side. Very versatile, can play the 3 or the 4. Todd Champlin is the athletic trainer. There's Marianne Stanley, got herself a championship ring last year on the bench with Mike Tebow and the champion Mystics. Getting another chance as a head coach.
She's done a really nice job, and when you look at points per possession in the WNBA, Indy is one of the better teams, and that's not easy to do coming in your first year, getting everyone on the same page, pieces in and out of the lineup, but there has been just this togetherness on their offense. They've been very effective in playing Marianne Stanley's style.
Team last year that won 13 games, 13-21, finished 9th, trying to get back into the playoffs for the first time since 2016.
Boy, Vegas has tried to drive right to the rim from the middle of the floor on the last few possessions, and they've just blown the bunnies at the rim. It's almost like their momentum is carrying them, not getting the right touch off the glass.
Asia, frustrated.
And that could be that size. I mean, when you're trying to split McCowan and Cox, that's a big lineup.
Yeah, that's got to alter something, if not just your psyche as you go in there with both of them playing together. Cox had contracted COVID, and that's why she was a little bit slow getting started on her rookie season. But that's a lot of size. Cox 6'4", and McCowan at 6'7". I've been saying this since she played in college. I think Lauren's taller than 6'4".
I think she is too. I would agree with that.
That's the only time you've ever agreed with me. Asia Wilson scoring.
And that is Asia putting the ball on the deck, which we've seen her do more this season, creating her own shot, showing that she's got some perimeter skill as well.
Outside just a little bit too strong. Asia bumped by McCowan, but no foul was called. Jackie Young, pull up, no good. That's an emphatic rebound by Burke, who quickly got rid of it before she was called for steps. And then Tiffany Mitchell just couldn't finish.
That's what happens sometimes with Tiffany Mitchell. She's too fast for the ball.
Kayla McBride, one of the premier three-point shooters in this league, buries that one to get the lead out to 4. The Aces showing some outside effectiveness. K-Max 3 makes it a 4-point ball game. We have a timeout. This is what the Las Vegas Aces are doing, among other things. They're having some fun down their wobble, and of course, Asia Wilson is right in the middle of it.
Well, she's always having fun. That's Asia. What a joy she is, her personality. She just brings so much light. Couldn't have been a perfect player to help start a new team in WNBA in Vegas, or a team that was moved to Vegas.
Yeah, absolutely.
The fans there just really adore her and her personality, and obviously her game as well.
Yeah, you're right. Just the perfect. That's it. Oh, what a pass by McCautry. Randy wanted the foul, but you're right. She is the perfect first pick for any franchise that is either new or relocating. And
there you go.
And she took on that role, just embraced it, and boy, they do. They love her there as well. They should. Just a terrific personality. We've seen her doing some ballet dancing too.
Little twinkle toes.
De'Erica Hamby from Wake Forest University. Boy, she has really blossomed the last couple of years in Vegas.
And when Asia and De'Erica are in the game together, De'Erica can really stretch the defense because she is capable of knocking down the three-point shot. And Asia can also play outside, inside to De'Erica.
And then McCautry got a hand on that Dupree shot. Angels all over the place. Bill Lambier says he likes to play her just in spurts. And then Hamby almost got the three-point play as she worked the baseline to perfection.
What a move by De'Erica Hamby. gets down in the post. We saw her shoot a 3 on the last possession, and this time taking it inside against a smaller defender. You just want that one to go in. But you see what Vegas is about. Look at Angel McCautry, Dearica Hamby, Asia Wilson. It is hard to handle all 3 of those forward skilled players with both guard and post skills. It's a lot to contain.
And McBride is at the free throw line because Marianne Stanley was just called for a technical foul on the Indiana bench. Not happy with the call probably on that play.
She must have thought there was limited contact with Dearica Hamby, but there was contact. And anytime you change a player's speed, balance, it's going to be a foul call. Not sure what happened on the other end, though.
Hamby missed them both.
You know what they say, Pam, ball don't lie.
And so maybe the karma from the Indiana bench translated to 0 points on that trip. Alamon guarded by Young. Got the nice screen from Achama to give her a little bit of room.
Come on, rookie conversation. Boy, the depth of the conversation when it comes to the all-rookie team, rookie of the year, there are going to be some tough decisions to make.
And some of those names are not going to be some of the ones that people would have expected.
No.
The only shot Angel McCautry has missed today has been a free throw.
Well, she's coming off of a 6-point performance, I believe, against New York. And, you know, Bill said he's learning Angel McCautry and sort of the rhythm of her game. As Vegas passes it around and gets it to an open Hamby on that possession. But, you know, Angel's still getting her body, her legs, her wind. And he's like, every other game, you know, she has a breakout. What a block there by Wilson.
Ooh, Asia with the emphatic block. And yeah, that's right. Angel McCautry is pretty much all of last season, which was her 10th year in Atlanta, coming back from that knee injury. And Coach Lambier trying to manage her minutes.
Yeah.
She's looking pretty good, pretty explosive.
Yeah, plays her in spurts, and you cannot leave Candace Dupree open.
So she owns that baseline. That baseline jumper for her is almost automatic. Indy down by 3. Young elevates, puts it up.
I mean,
and in.
what can you do with that? Big, strong, and she's got confidence in hitting that lane jump shot. That is her move.
Shanwa from the outside.
Candace Dupree and Achanwa knocking down the long 2s. Achanwa looks good. We haven't seen her. She's been out with injury, but she looks really good in the limited minutes she's played so far.
Tiffany Mitchell not thrilled, but that was a hip check in hockey to pick up her second personal foul. Good look at Natalie Achanwa in her 6th year now out of Notre Dame. Did not play the last 4 games because of the hamstring injury. Looking pretty good so far. Coach Stanley wanted to just kind of ease her back into things. But so far, so good for the Canadian national team member. Rogers. There's Young. Just going right over Alamon. Well, Young really can elevate. Playing taller than her listed 6 feet.
Well, guys, we talked to Bill Lambier about Jackie Young. She's had a couple of breakout games the last 2 games, and he said she's doing what I've asked her to do for the last 1.5 years. You just can't stop her. She's too big, she's too strong, and she's starting to realize what she can do out on the basketball court. He said, this is the talent that I saw when I drafted her with that #1 draft pick. You know, he said it's important to remember she should just be coming off her senior year of college right now. She left a year early. She's really starting to come into her own and realize just how big, strong, and capable she is.
Yeah, and Holly, with Vegas' style, if you can play in the transition game, you're going to get opportunities. But she wasn't even really looking at it in previous seasons. But now she has gotten some confidence in her offense. Speaking of confidence, look at Candace Dupree. I mean, we could say the same thing about the forwards for Indiana with Dupree and Acham on the way they've played here early that we have about Asia Wilson and Dearica Hamby and company. I mean, just knocking down shots and open opportunities and pick and pop situations. You can't leave Candace Dupree. You got to know that.
Yeah, Dupree amazing in her 15th year out of Temple. Just smooth as silk. Asia was bugged on the way to the hoop by Alamont. Candace thought about it, gives it to Kelsey Mitchell. Just a little bit too strong. We go inside, 3 minutes to go in the half. Both teams shooting over 55% from the floor. Asia guarded by Achunwa. Has it spin out. Also another shot that's impossible to defend when she fades away like that.
And boy, Indiana has made Asia Wilson earn everything. She's only 2 for 9 here so far the first half, and most of her looks have been tough.
That was a tough try by Alamont on the reverse, but Tiffany Mitchell.
Fast as grease lightning.
Tiffany Mitchell now got that basket to get them 1 point down. Mitchell doing it with her defense.
Tiffany Mitchell, catch you slipping. For an easy 2 over her old Gamecock teammate. Woo, they play together?
A little bit. 6:30 Eastern, the champion Raptors have locked up the #2 seed in the East. They'll take on the Sixers, who are looking to move up in the standings. And a big matchup in the West between the Clippers and the Nuggets. Coverage tips off with NBA Countdown at 6 Eastern on ESPN. On Saturday, a Western Conference play-in game will be on ABC at 2:30 Eastern. LaChina Robinson, you're so happy with all this basketball.
I saw the coolest thing on Twitter. The Phoenix Suns were getting introduced, and obviously they're playing in the NBA bubble in Orlando. But they had their family members do video introductions of the players. I literally cried. I mean, it was the coolest thing. To see all those family members who are missing their brothers or dads and the smiles on the players' face, it was great. And what else is great? Candace Dupree.
She's all right. Candace Dupree now with 14 points and a chance at a 3-point play.
So if we could do those video lineups, I think Candace Dupree's 2 little girls, she has twin daughters, they would be the cute candidates for that. They're only about an hour away here in Tampa with her family, but she said it's really hard. I'm so close and yet I'm so far away. Be sure to stick around at halftime. We have a wonderful feature on Candace Dupree, the unsung superstar in the WNBA.
Oh, I can't wait to see that, Holly, as McBride takes baseline. And one thing Holly talked about in our last broadcast, might have been you, Pam, when we had Indiana, is just, you know, she played at Temple and just has never been the type of player that is loud by any stretch. Her game is pretty quiet and smooth. She's not the loudest voice in the gym, and she's had just an amazing career, and you wouldn't know it, but I can't wait to learn more, even more about Candace Dupree.
It's Danielle Robinson doing Danielle Robinson things, which is basically just being slippery and quick to the basket. We go inside a minute. And Kelsey Mitchell just
what do you
answers.
do? What do you do about that? She creates her own space, and you're just not as quick as she is getting into that jump shot.
Boy, look at those field goal percentages, 58 and 60% respectively in this game. It's been great. McBride draws contact from Alamont. WNBA national TV schedule. Our second game tonight, the Washington Mystics taking on the Minnesota Lynx right here on ESPN2 at 9 Eastern. And then our friends at the CBS Sports Network tomorrow have Dallas and Connecticut at 7 Eastern. The Sun starting to get things going after a slow start. WNBA.com or the WNBA app has all of your information.
Looking forward to the Crystal Dangerfield encore Minnesota now has had 6 different players lead them in scoring this season. Cheryl Reeve has had to go deep, in particular because of injuries to players like Sylvia Fowles. But you're learning names like Dangerfield and Bridget Carlton making a name.
Dangerfield, a second-round pick. You were talking about the all-rookie team right now, and Dangerfield, you could make the argument, is in the Rookie of the Year conversation.
No doubt. I mean, we know about the usual suspects, but you think about Dangerfield, and you saw Ezzy McMagor last night, and of course Satu, and it's just going to be a tough call. Rookies keep playing like this.
Danielle Robinson did a great job to get a steal and break up the fast break, and then did some damage on the other end as well. Dee Robb in her 8th year out of Oklahoma. Bounced around a little bit, signing with Las Vegas in the off season. Last couple of years with the Lynx. Jackie Young working on Kelsey Mitchell, draws another foul and has a chance for the 3-point play.
Body control. I mean, the level of difficulty on this move by Jackie Young, the body. I mean, she took contact. Even prior to that, I mean, she had to try to create some separation. Misses the free throw, though.
Yeah. Fails to convert the 3-point play, but now Indiana can hold it for the final shot of the half, and Marianne Stanley wants to talk about it with 17 seconds left to go. We will take a timeout as well, and then come back for the conclusion of what's been a very entertaining first half. And if we stay on this pace, or if they do, our final will be 120 to 114.
Yeah, there's been a lot of offense, a ton of scoring. 60% from the field for Indy, 58% from the field for Vegas. Points in the paint for Indy, 36 points in the paint for Vegas. Those are high percentage shots. So you could imagine these coaches are going to the locker room, and they're going to talk a little bit about defense, Pam.
Or the lack thereof. Yeah, Las Vegas, had 22 paints in the paints.
Try that again.
Paint points, rather. One of those P's in the first quarter, which is a record for any quarter of any team this year. So here we go. Let's see what Kelsey Mitchell and company can do out of the timeout. Danielle Robinson checking her. Screen action from McCowan. Then McCowan rolls to the basket. Dupree with the assist. Nicely done by Indiana.
Very well executed out of the timeout by Marianne Stanley, taking the momentum into the locker room.
What an entertaining first half. Candice Dupree, her 15 points tonight are more than her last 2 games combined. And Angel, looking like the Angel from about 10 years ago, just scoring at will in a high-scoring first half.
Out of the trap here, the cut to the basket by McCowan. That's brilliant.
WNBA Halftime Report presented by State Farm, coming up after these messages with Christine Williamson.
The two teams combining for 119 points in the first half, and the most combined points in a half this season in any game. Looking forward to the second half. Pam Ward, along with LaChina Robinson. Holly Rowe is with us in the bubble. So much offense going on, and Candice Dupree, one of the oldest players on the floor, looking like one of the youngest.
Yeah, she's drinking from the fountain of youth, and Candice Dupree is setting the tone for her team on the offensive end, and she gets all of her points out of the action of what Indiana is running, whether it's a pick and roll where she likes to pick and pop. She can space the floor and force her forwards to come out and guard on the perimeter. She's just so smooth off of the dribble, gets some elevation there, goes into the post and takes a shorter defender. She reads the defense, high basketball IQ, knows what she's looking for, and very efficient.
And speaking of efficient, Angel McCautry, perfect from the floor. She just missed one shot today, and it was a free throw.
Yeah, I mean, Angel looks really good in terms of her quickness, her speed, her attack of the rim, and just a tough guard for any team in this league. I mean, let's not forget who McCautry is. I mean, she was once one of the best players in the WNBA, and she looks like she's working her way back there.
Yep, back-to-back scoring titles, 2012 and 2013 when she was with Atlanta, and they pick up right where they left off. Tiffany Mitchell gets the bucket, and Indiana goes on top. Kayla McBride also had a terrific first half and struggling a little bit with her shot. And McCautry again.
Yeah, just too easy. When she comes off any kind of curling or slicing action, you really have to have a help defender in place to contest McCautry because it's hard to catch up with her once she gets her momentum going to the rim.
Vegas trying to win their 5th straight game. Stay atop, getting close, staying close to Seattle, who's only lost once. Kelsey Mitchell with the rare miss.
Yeah, Mitchell had Asia Wilson on the switch. You could tell she wanted to get that one. Laid it up just a little too hard.
Here's Asia Wilson, reigning Conference Player of the Week in the West, averaged 26 points and 8 rebounds last week. That one rolled out.
A good collapse by Candace Dupree. And good pass. And now transition for the Fever. Coming out of the locker room, looking good.
Yep, Mitchell to Mitchell. Kelsey into double figures now. Alamon, the point guard's the only starter for Indiana who's not in double figures. Asia showing some perseverance to get the follow. Asia just 2 of 10 from the floor. Very uncharacteristic for her to start. Now 3 of 12. Carolyn Swords defending Tierra McCowan, and Dupree got it. Boy.
You mentioned that Candace's scoring had slowed up in the last couple of games. Well, not tonight. The tenacity in the attack, and you know Dupree for that outside jump shot, but you have to look at the pieces around her. When she played in Phoenix, it was spacing the floor for Brittany Griner and being a facilitator, and now she gets to kind of pick her spots on the offensive end, and is definitely, along with Kelsey Mitchell, just their most dangerous and consistent offensive weapons.
She's got 18. McBride with the floater, gets her own miss. Asia had enough space. That one just would not go down. Tough shooting night so far.
It looks like Las Vegas starting Danielle Robinson in the second half. I believe they started Lindsay Allen earlier, well, to start the game. So that may be a change by Bill Laimbeer, just wanting more defensive pressure on the ball, maybe wanting to push pace a little bit more.
Allen only played 5 minutes in the first half and did not take a shot. Danielle Robinson came off the bench to score 6 and really helping them in that quick transition game. There's D-Rob with the ball. So the only lineup switch for either team from the start to the first half. McCautry still quick, but couldn't finish. Gets a little bit of space from Asia. Now Kelsey Mitchell drawing contact from Wilson, but no foul call.
I thought there was some contact to the body there on Mitchell.
Underneath, sweet pass, Robinson to Swords. Danielle Robinson, first year in Vegas, and we're tied. Alamon blows right by Swords, and then unselfish basketball. Tiffany Mitchell, though, missed everything after getting the pass from Dupree.
With Mitchell's speed, I'd love to see her attack the closeout. She looked like a little bit further behind the three-point line than you might like in that possession.
So Victoria Vivians came back from after tweaking her knee, had a knee brace on, and seemed to tweak it a little bit even more. Holly Rowe has more on that.
Well, that's right. She tried to play a little bit earlier this season and was experiencing some soreness in that repaired ACL knee. She got the brace. We saw her try to play with that brace tonight, and she has been out for a long time. And their athletic trainer, Todd Champlin, has been over there working on her for at least 30 minutes. I haven't been able to get a real update yet, but it looks like she is experiencing soreness. He continues to massage that, work that whole leg, work that whole area. I've seen him do several ligament stability tests, trying to get a read on what's going on with Victoria Vivian's knee, so we'll try to keep you posted.
I mean, shout out to the trainers, right? I mean, the work that they put in, especially with these players trying to get into a groove in a condensed season with a non-traditional lead up. And, you know, one thing that Marianne Stanley said is that Vivian's hadn't practiced much leading up to coming into that Washington game and trying things out again. And so it's tough when your team doesn't do a ton of up and down because you're playing every other day to get a feel for, you know, where your body is and if you can go full speed.
Yeah, it's tough when you have to do it in a game, but with everybody typically playing every other day, teams have to take it easy in practices and shoot-arounds. It's the most atypical of seasons.
Good defense by Indiana to break up that layup.
Dupree goes by Asia Wilson, but some good help defense. And then Hamby. You could tell she was upset with herself, not once but twice for missing underneath.
Oh boy, you got to make those. And I thought about that the other night when we saw Brittany Griner miss a couple. Fatigue, I think, sets in sometimes too in those situations on the finishes.
Yeah, we had great pace in the first half. Things cooled off a little bit so far in the third. Timeout in Florida.
This is Indiana, and the Fever have done a nice job on Asia Wilson. Defensively, they are just crowding her space with size, multiple defenders on the finish. And even here, Natalie Achanwa trying to get a hand in the face. The touch has not been there, coming off of a 31-point performance against New York. Leads the WNBA in scoring, 3 for 13 so far tonight.
And usually, or I should say coming into this game, Asia 50% from the floor and has missed 10 of her 13 shots, most of them in the paint. Dupree banks it in.
Meanwhile, Candace Dupree, 9 for 17, 20 points.
That is 3 off of her season high. McBride.
McBride has looked really good, and her shot is important to this Vegas team because when you look at Wilson and Angel McCautry in particular, they like to do their work in the middle of the floor where you have to have space to do that.
And McBride into double figures with 13. Traveling call gets it right back to Las Vegas. Alamo, the point guard, one of the many new faces in Indiana, including their head coach, Marianne Stanley. And now away from the ball, Tiffany Mitchell's called for a foul.
I like that matchup, Angel McCautry and Tiffany Mitchell. You know, Angel told me on a podcast, she said, LaChina, I don't have the speed like I used to. She said, you know, I used to be able to dunk a basketball. I'm just trying to get up and down the floor now. And Mitchell reminds me of a young Angel and just how much faster she is than everyone else on the court. And Angel, of course, suffered an ACL 2018.
Unable to come back last year with Atlanta. Now a fresh start in Vegas. Here she is. Rolls it in. Even the tough ones are going in for her.
It's that touch. She just has such a nice touch on the ball.
And I want to tell everyone that Tiffany Mitchell has 4 personal fouls for Indiana. So she is checked out of the game. Kennedy Burke in for her. There's Lauren Cox, the rookie.
You know, when you look at space and opportunity, Indiana's done a better job of finishing at the rim when they're on the inside. I mean, we've seen some missed bunnies by Vegas that may come back to haunt them.
Just a 2-point ball game. McCautry! You kidding me? She gets another one to fall and has a chance for a 3-point play. A little bit of a hard fall.
Again, her turnaround after receiving the pass is so quick, and Cox was trying to get over to help out, just too late. Glad McCautry's okay.
And Burke called for the foul.
Well, you're talking about Angel McCautry through the years, and one of the things I appreciate about how she's grown as she's gotten older, when she was younger, she was frenetic energy, running everywhere. I covered her at many, many games all the way back to her Louisville days, but now she glides around the court. Her footwork is efficient. She gets from point A to point B in a much more efficient way, and she's just so smooth. I wish you guys could be here and see this. She just glides everywhere she goes, like smooth as can be.
She does, Holly.
Like butter.
Like butter. And you know what? Simone Augustus talks about that, what she did earlier this season, conserving your energy. She said when you're a vet, you got to know when to put that burst of speed on and when to just slow up and do just about anything, about nothing. She said her team calls her lazy. She said, I'm not lazy. I just know when to turn it up. She's turned it up so far in 2020.
Alabama had a 3 earlier. That one rims out. And we spoke to Bill Lambier, and he was talking about how he's having to work and have her pace herself and be aware that she does have to go in bursts. Asia with the finish.
And that's what Vegas needs to do more of. They got to get into transition. But it starts with defending Indiana, getting stops, and then they can push.
Long shot for Kelsey Mitchell, misses. I like what Bill Lambier said about Angel to us today. Says, sometimes she looks like she's not engaged, but that's just her.
Yeah.
That's just Angel.
But when that popcorn starts popping, I believe someone, it may have been the late, great Pat Summitt, used to say that about Shamiqua Holtzclaw. She would say, you know, you come to practice, you watch her, not going to blow you away, but when the popcorn starts popping, she can get buckets.
Yeah, she is definitely a gamer. And McCautry is drawn to a jump ball as McBride takes a break. McCautry getting ready to jump up against Lauren Cox, who has had a nice game so far, working her way back in. She's not missed a shot. Lauren 3 for 3 from the floor. For a new career high 7 points.
And only 4 minutes, is that right?
Stat monitor won't lie, right?
Nice game for Cox so far. She's learned a couple things on defense, though, Pam.
Yeah, she got schooled a little bit against Washington. Ooh, that's just Kennedy Burke plowing right into Sugar Rogers.
Good read by Rogers. Vegas had to make some adjustments defensively because they were allowing too many easy looks from Indiana. And sometimes it's just an earlier rotation. It's just getting there defensively and forcing the Fever to do something different.
Yeah, both teams lighting it up in the first half. God, 48 paint points now for Vegas. Jackie Young decided not to shoot over Tierra McCowan and then almost threw it away. Danielle Robinson to Hamby, 1 pass too many. You heard Bill Lambier say, shoot it, Hamby.
Loud and clear.
And then the option, she was also throwing it to Carolyn Swords, who is not a better offensive option than Hamby. It's one thing, with no fans in the stands, we can really hear Bill.
Oh, yeah.
You can hear Bill usually with fans in the stands, but now it's even clearer.
Oh boy, what a move.
Bill's a little less grumpy after that play by Jackie Young.
Jackie Young. Just tough, so strong. And Bill loves it. He said, I've been telling her to do this.
Yep.
She's finally listening.
Yep, he's told us that things are finally clicking for Jackie Young, who has really been very effective coming off the bench this year. The #1 overall pick last year.
And that is now another free throw attempt for Young. She has gotten to the line a lot here, 6 trips.
And just like that, it's a 7-point Vegas advantage as we go inside a minute in the third quarter. Tierra McCowan back in, playing alongside Achunwa. Inside for the Fever. Tiffany Mitchell, that's a tough shot. Didn't draw any iron. And now Hamby gets it quickly over to Danielle Robinson, who gave it up. And a foul as Swords grabbed Kelsey Mitchell, who was about to just streak right by her.
On this end of the floor, a couple possessions before, Sugar Rogers, I mean, tremendous defensive effort. I mean, she had to help. Ball went inside, came back over to cover her man. I mean, she was all over the floor.
And then she tipped it out to Hamby when all was said and done. Another tough shot for Tiffany Mitchell that she leaves short. Just fractions of a second difference between the two clocks. Jackie Young settles things down. And you hear Bill say, go. Young waited to get rid of Alamon.
What are you going to do with her? 2 feet in the paint, it's going in.
A terrific third quarter for Las Vegas. They led by 1 at the half. Angel McCautry doing her thing, but Jackie Young, very impressive as well, with 15 points off the bench, but Angel's being Angel.
And Jackie Young has found her offensive confidence, got it to go.
Here with Indiana's Candace Dupree, and your team has been so close this entire game, but Las Vegas gaining some separation. What concerns you the most right now?
First, I think it's our defense, and Vegas is picking up their defensive intensity, which is causing us to turn the ball over and take bad shots. So we got to clean that up, but we can't lose focus on the defensive end.
All right, what can you do to score more efficiently?
Take care of the ball, get through our offensive sets, make them play defense for 24 seconds.
Perfect. Thanks, Candace.
No problem.
I mean, overall, both teams have done a nice job of taking care of the ball, but if you don't, Vegas feeds off of turnovers because they like to play in transition and play fast. That's the way they're built.
And you saw that Indiana just shot 33% in that third quarter. Dupree, even when she's being interviewed, is cool and calm and even.
She's a G.
She's a who?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Biggest lead of the game for Vegas is cut by 2. Tiffany Mitchell's out there playing with 4 personal fouls for Indiana.
But that's a high percentage take by Mitchell. That's a good shot for her. The side is cleared out, and it's hard to keep up with her off bounce.
Sugar Rogers, a little shake to get rid of the defense.
Rejected the screen. Sugar.
Played for Bill Lambier when they were both with the Liberty. Now out west together. 10-point lead. Crucial time here for Indiana to try to get back into this basketball game. Mitchell takes it right to Jackie Young.
No one can really stop her. If she can get an angle on the bucket. I've enjoyed watching Tiffany Mitchell play so far this season. She can string together consistency now that she's got some players around her that she's starting to get comfortable playing with.
Rogers again with another move. Wouldn't quite bounce in. You can see that Mitchell's game has developed. You're right, better parts around her, making it easier. Achamo couldn't handle cleanly.
And I think Alamon has been a big part of that. I think she's helped both Kelsey and Tiffany Mitchell to really be able to settle into their roles because she is very calm and poised on offense.
Yeah, the veteran from Belgium. And Kelsey Mitchell had to play a lot of point last year. Hamby knew that was going in. Eric Hamby. She's an adorable little girl, doesn't she, Amaya?
Oh, man.
Goodness.
Mommy's in the bubble. See a lot of standing from Indiana here. They've got to be more decisive on their offensive actions because when you're not, that's what happens.
And Hamby almost forced another turnover and did force the shot clock violation.
Again, remember I talked to you about resting on offense? We rest on offense by making them guard us through screening and ball movement. We're making 1 or 2 passes and then we're just letting it fly. And we don't have the legs. But right now, everybody's tired. and we're just going back and forth, and it's like last man standing.
Yeah, take the air out of the ball is what she's saying. You know, I mean, let's slow down what we're doing on offense and find good shots, because right now we're tired. And nice take there by Jackie Young. But we did see a couple possessions with Tiffany Mitchell getting looks with Indiana, just kind of waiting for the best offensive opportunity. But they've got to move and cut and pass and be more active on that end of the floor.
Cowan got fouled after the offensive rebound. When she was the head coach of the Mystics in 2002, she was coach of the year, coached among other people, Shamiqua Holtzclaw, who was a terrific pro.
I really have been impressed with the job that Marianne Stanley has done so far, because she has taken some individual pieces to this Fever team that just needed to work better collectively, and she's put them in positions where they're showing a lot of comfort in the offensive system, getting up and down the floor. We've talked about the improvements of players like Kelsey Mitchell. We're seeing the best of Kennedy Burke, what she has to offer, and then Alamon. I mean, Alamon.
Alamon, don't say the D.
Enough? I know.
Holly Rowe told us, don't say the D now. Alamon from Belgium, point guard on that national team. She's got a pretty good weapon on that team. There's Julie talking with Coach Stanley. Oh, there's Tamika Catchings, the general manager and greatest player in the history of this franchise. But Emma Mieseman has her as her point guard on the Belgian national team, which qualified for the Olympics for the very first time, which is awesome.
We'll see Emma Mieseman after this in our doubleheader coming up, 9 p.m. tip.
Washington and Minnesota coming up.
Good night for Belgium.
Asia Wilson has had a difficult night offensively.
And the Aces keep it. Both coaches mentioned rebounding and how important it was going to be. These are the possessions that you've got to dig deep.
Hamby ran into McCowan.
Boy, McCowan causing all kind of trouble defensively. As effective as Hamby and Asia Wilson can be in different spots on the floor, they picked the wrong spot on that last possession because Tierra McCowan contesting shots left and right at 6'7".
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to run into Tierra either. Indiana down a dozen. Kelsey Mitchell. Defense comes out a little bit. Alamon, a little bit too strong.
And those aren't the kind of possessions that Marianne Stanley wants to see. She wants side to side, inside out, player movement, ball movement. That's success for Vegas.
Hamby to Robinson, who finishes in a flurry.
Robinson has played very well tonight, hence that start in the second half.
He certainly has. Was a big catalyst coming in off the bench in the first half, rewarded for the start here in the second half. Indiana scored 59 points in the first half, just 17 points since, as Vegas is starting to flex its muscle. That's too easy for Asia.
Yeah, they are collapsing, and as Candace Dupree told Holly Rowe, they are forcing turnovers, getting out and running. Vegas really starting to take over. Some good passing on this possession. Jackie Young to Danielle Robinson to Hamby. Oh, give it back to Danielle.
ESPN's coverage of the WNBA is brought to you by AT&T 5G and Taco Bell. Order ahead and pick up your favorites at our contactless drive-thru.
Yeah. And Amaya, are we friends?
Yeah.
Okay, so like real friends, get in the ice bath together.
I can sit in front of you and Bryson kiss.
Yes! Let's do it. Come on. You're a real friend. You were going to do it? Amaya. Amaya. I'm just kidding. You don't have to get in. Come here. Give me a high five.
I will definitely say that the kids in the WNBA bubble have been the absolute highlight of everyone's life. That was Bryson, Bria Hartley's son, and Amaya, Dearica Hamby's daughter. And I want to give a shout out. Amaya knows if we talk about her. Like, she yelled at me one game because I didn't pull my ear, which is our little signal to say, hi, I'm talking about you on TV. But her mom, Carla, is home babysitting both Bryson and Amaya tonight. I really love how the moms have all pitched in together. When Bria Hartley's playing or has games, they help her with Bryson, and when De'Erica's playing, they get some help with Amaya. So all the moms, all the families, regardless of team, lines, are helping each other out here. But Carla, you're the real MVP, and we all know it.
And look, Amaya's mom just scored another bucket. And that was Candace Parker in the ice bath, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, Candace was trying to convince Amaya to get in and Bryson, but she didn't have to do a lot of convincing. It looked like Amaya was getting ready to try to take her shoes off. Bryson was still on the fence about it.
Bryson was backing up a little bit.
How cute, but that's who Hamby is. I mean, she is all in. I mean, she's so much like her mom. Amaya is so much like her mom. She is, I mean, De'Erica's been a tremendous mother. That young woman is so smart and so bright and just a joy.
Sixth Woman of the Year and making a case to maybe get it in back-to-back seasons. That was a relatively easy bucket for Tiara McCowan as Indiana's offensive production has fallen by the wayside.
Well, and a lot of it had to do with the third quarter pull up there by McBride, but I just think the decision by Bill Laimbeer to start Danielle Robinson was huge. Robinson has always been known for setting the tone defensively on every team she's been in. She can pressure, she can deny. I mean, look, she just rubbed Kelsey Mitchell right there. And so that change really picked up the pace defensively. And Bill talked to us about his bench. Danielle would normally be one of those players and how he relies on them to step up the defense along with Hamby.
And now with Jackie Young coming off the bench, that also has given them a shot in the arm. He thinks the bench is a much stronger asset than it was last year when they got to a conference final before they were eliminated by Washington. And that graphic says it all. They have 45 bench points. Indiana just 16. Tiffany Mitchell gets it over to Kelsey. Just drives down the lane and a foul called, much to Asia Wilson's chagrin. And we hear Bill complaining about the call. Junior NBA Global Championship, a youth basketball tournament for top 13 and 14-year-old boys and girls from around the world, took place this summer through an innovative virtual competition and life skills programming. To find out this year's global champion, visit juniornba.com/global championship. Never too early to start playing basketball.
Yeah, had I started a little earlier, Pam, I might be out here on the floor.
As an official or
See,
wiping
you know
like
what?
The towel girl? Well, I mean, just saying.
Disrespect.
When did? Well, Asia Wilson had just made a great face over on the sideline. De'Erica Hamby went to Wake Forest, just like my companion here, LaChina Robinson.
Now you're just trying to get away from how you insulted me and said
No,
I should have been an official instead of a basketball player.
Well, I mean now. You would, yes, in years past, but don't you think you'd be? You think you could still play now?
No. There's no chance.
Okay. That was my point. If we could put you in a time machine, yes.
That wasn't what I was saying, but that's fine.
Okay. I wonder who you'll be doing the second game with. Tara Burdick gets in the game along with Megan Huff with the chunky lead, Bill Laimbeer. This is smart, isn't it, though, to get your veterans off the floor? You got to play every other day. And he's emptying the bench with Huff and Burdick.
No doubt.
Huff, who was waived by Minnesota a couple of days ago, so Odyssey Sims could be activated. She will not be available today, but Minnesota's a team that's going to hurt some people. They're going to get Odyssey back. We get to see them next against Washington at the top of the hour.
That is going to be an interesting matchup. Not sure if Sylvia Fowles is going to play. I believe her status was probable. But Minnesota's been impressive, and Washington's trying to get back on the winning side of things.
Let's see if Vegas can hit the century mark when we come back from the timeout.
The Las Vegas Aces have this game in hand, but coming up next, we have a wonderful game and good news. Sylvia Fowles is going to play in that game. I'll tell you how I got that news. I ran back to use the restroom, and as I ran down the hallway, I ran into Sylvia Fells running the other way. I said, hey, you playing tonight? She said yes. She's been out the last game with a calf injury, so one of the benefits of a weird arena and weird year, you know, just finding out injury reports in the hallway at the bathroom.
That is great.
Classic Holly Rowe. And we can't wait to see Sylvia. She has missed 2 of the last 3 games with a hurt right calf. And we will see Minnesota taking on the Mystics. And this is will be an impressive victory for Las Vegas. They led by 1 at the half and amped up their defense. Lindsay Allen is in the game now for Danielle Robinson. This is going to be the 5th straight win for the Las Vegas Aces.
They're playing well. And what I'm most impressed by is tonight A'ja Wilson is 5 for 17 from the floor, 12 points. She does have a double-double with 12 rebounds, but Vegas has 96 points. And their MVP candidate had a slow night. But it's 20 from Angel McCautry, 17 from Jackie Young, 13 from Hamby, McBride with 15. So many weapons, especially with Jackie Young playing the way she is on the offensive end. And some Sugar on top.
Sugar Rogers. Great contribution off the bench. A'ja turning into the cheerleader.
That's the mark of a good teammate. You know, didn't have the kind of night she probably wanted, but she's still having fun and cheering on her teammate. And Sugar getting to the rack, little hezzy crossover. That was kind of like a running hook shot there by Sugar. A'ja likes it.
I love her.
So much fun.
And what you see is what you get.
Yes,
I mean,
exactly
that's
who
just
she is.
A'ja.
Yeah. No fronts.
Yeah, A'ja coming in as the Western Conference Player of the Week. An off night tonight, but her teammates more than picked up the slack. Lindsay Allen from Mitchellville, Maryland. And Notre Dame gets it and then wisely pulls it out to kill some more of the clock. So Vegas going to go to 5-2 on the season. Indiana's going to drop to 3-5.
You saw Lindsay Allen directing traffic. She's such a good floor general. She saw the mismatch on the inside with Burdick and Alamon, said swing the ball, get it over inside, and they did that.
Lindsay Allen, she had to be good because she was the starting point guard from day 1.
Alamon may win this. Watch this. She might win this tip. Okay, she did not. She's got she's got a ton of blocks. That number probably isn't right. But she is more of a shot blocker than she looks like at 5'8". I've seen some film of Alamon getting her hands on a couple of baskets around the rim.
Yeah, she had 2 of them against Washington in the last game that were impressive.
Yeah, the number on my sheet is probably not correct. It says she has 71 blocks, but
that,
she does not.
Wow, now that would be something.
Does not have that.
That would be averaging 10 a game. All right, Bill, good job by his team tonight. Gonna get that haircut on Sunday. Next game, we will see Las Vegas on Thursday against Minnesota. We'll be here doing that game on Thursday night. That should be fun, and we will see Minnesota playing Washington after this one. Very impressive second half. The most points scored by 2 teams combined in the first half this year in the league, but then Vegas just took over in the second
Yeah,
half.
and Indiana just has not quite gelled together enough on both ends to beat a team like Vegas, but they continue to improve and adding pieces. But boy, the addition of Angel McCautry this year to the Las Vegas Aces gave them a punch they needed, in addition to A'ja Wilson just adding to their attack on both ends.
It's nice to see Angel smiling again like that. It's the longest winning streak, by the way, for this franchise since 2012 when the Aces were back in San Antonio. So they are on a roll. We will see them Thursday against Minnesota. Danielle Robinson was terrific tonight. She's with Holly.
Danielle Robinson was terrific tonight. You got the start in the second half. What did Coach Lambier say to you, putting you in that starting lineup?
Well, he just said, you know, continue to do you, run the team, make sure that we get good shots, good possessions, and obviously it started with our defense, and so that was a big part of it.
You guys had 6 players in double-figure scoring. How does the balance on this team really drive you?
Well, I mean, our GM and obviously coach do a good job of putting the team together. We just play for each other. And obviously this season we're playing for something so much bigger. And so we just want to go out there every single night and have fun.
The winning streak continues to extend. How much momentum does your Aces team have right now, Danielle?
You know, we're just playing our game. At the end of the day, like I said, it's about defense for us. And as long as we continue to do that, we think we have a chance every night.
Well, thank you so much. Great to see you playing out there. You did great tonight.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
D-Rob maybe earning the start in their next game when they play Minnesota on Thursday. And there's the hug, but very impressive for Vegas. So Angel McCautry and the rest of the Aces take it 98-79 for Holly Rowe, LaChina Robinson, and our entire crew. I'm Pam Ward. Coming up next, more action when the Mystics take on the Lynx. Asia's happy. We got Christine Williamson in the studio.